All right, President Trump's budget proposal is set to include cuts to the government that our country hasn't seen in 70 years. How do you like that? The budget will reportedly prioritize defense spending while dramatically reducing the size of the federal workforce. Former Deputy Assistant to President George W. Bush, Brad Blakeman, who joins me right now with some more intel on all of this. Refreshing. That's what I'm going to say. But, you know, I'm from the live free or die state, New Hampshire, where we don't believe in allowing our government to get too big, because the thinking is, Brad, whatever government has, government will spend. So how do you go in and reverse something like this 70 years later?
You empower your cabinet and sub-cabinet to get to work. There is no doubt that within 5 years, if the president continues the hiring freeze through attrition and early retirement, we can reduce the workforce by 10%. And this president, if any president, can do it because he's going to tell his people, I want to find out what works, what doesn't, remove what doesn't, and let's step on the gas on what does, and let's get the best out of the U.S. workforce. Now,
what are you going to say to those who say, this economy, it's just starting to get going. You don't want to lose more jobs. You think about the D.C. area and how badly they'll be affected by that job loss within the sector. What do you respond to them with?
There's plenty of work in the private sector. As a matter of fact, government workers will have a better time, I think, transitioning to the private sector because they served in the public sector. So if jobs are created in the private sector, this is the perfect opportunity for them to transition.
You know, Brad, this really speaks volumes about sort of the difference, the sort of sea change that we're witnessing right now as a country. When you think about President Obama's years and this sort of sense that the bigger government got, the better off we'd all be. If only there were more government jobs. That was the thinking. We didn't have enough. And now there's a total reversal of that. Let's get rid of that big bloated government and empower the people. Talk to me about the seismic shift we are watching as we speak right now.
Well, look, Republicans believe that government should only do for the people what the people can't do for themselves. Government are the policemen, the firemen, the things that the private sector could not do because there's such a constituency that needs to be served. And then, you know, government creates government. That's been the object of Democratic administrations. They believe that government is a cradle-to-grave institution where the people become dependent on the government. We don't believe that as Republicans. We believe empowering people is the way not only to have a better work product, but also a better freedom and a better feeling towards a free market.
The other scary thing, we just saw the numbers up on the screen. I mean, we're looking at roughly $20 trillion in debt. It is not sustainable. There is no way that my kids will have as good an opportunity if they are stuck dealing with this massive amount of debt that, frankly, we cannot afford. And I'm out of time, unfortunately, Brad, but we'll have this conversation another time because, you know, look, great societies, they haven't always fallen because of military concerns, but because of debt. You can't keep this going. Thank you so much, Brad.